This Fleet Equipment Unscripted interview is presented by Hendrickson, a leading manufacturer of heavy-duty suspension systems and components to the global commercial transportation industry. Visit hendrickson-intl.com to learn more.
Hi everyone, I'm Jason Morgan, Content Director for Fleet Equipment, and welcome to Fleet Equipment Unscripted. Today we're talking with Tony Fairweather, CEO and founder of C Electric. Tony, thank you for taking the time. It's great to see you.
Oh, thanks for inviting me. Nice to meet you, Jason.
Yeah, I'm excited to connect with you because I was at Work Truck Week and I feel like C Electric had a giant presence, maybe not just in your booth, but in the booth of pretty much, it seemed like a ton of OEMs and work truck manufacturers. So before we dive into that and those relationships, can you just give me a little bit of background on C Electric? I know it was a new name for me. Where are you playing in this segment and what's your mission going forward?
C Electric's been founded just on 10 years ago now as specifically a power system, a zero-emission power system supplier for the delivery vehicle segment of the commercial vehicle space, the last mile segment, if you like. Founded as an Australian company initially, but we had a very clear vision early on, and that vision was to create a low-cost, lightweight, and a high-performing zero-emission power system solution, or a powertrain, if you like, for the delivery vehicle segment, so that we could partner with OEMs and collaborate with others on the journey to zero emission when the time was right.
Certainly, and then at Work Truck, we've seen, at least in the larger segment in Class 8s, battery electric trucks rolling there. Work Truck, the application always seems to gravitate toward that shorter cycles, back to home applications for charging. And we saw it really proliferate here at Work Truck Week this year with a lot of announcements. When you're working with those work truck manufacturers, what are those biggest challenges to bring electrification to those chassis?
It's really important to understand that the zero-emission battery electric space is being applied in terms of technology differently in various segments of the automotive space. It's not like the internal combustion engine vehicle that is, or internal combustion engine and gearbox. It is essentially applied in the same manner, no matter what size or what part of the automotive segment. Battery electric is specifically developed based on duty cycle and charging needs. You've got this unique and new requirement, which comes at significant cost if it's not taken into consideration. So what we liked about the last mile or the delivery vehicle segment was that big volumes, less competition, but also a duty cycle that is very well suited to electrification. Fixed routes, significant dwell time at night for lower cost AC charging. And hence our view from 10 years ago, and we're seeing that now, is that it'll be the first of the automotive segments that will scale significantly without the need for significant incentive to make that happen. The economics make sense, the duty cycle makes sense, the weight profiles make sense, and we're really in that catalyst year right now for that transition in terms of work trucks.
Yeah, and in that segment too, you have the bodybuilders that need to put the bodies on the frame rails in the truck. The batteries are taking up space. You have to work with the upfitters, the OEMs, you all providing the powertrain to make sure they have the resources they need on those frame rails to get the equipment on there. We're starting to talk about things like ePTOs and how to get power, where you're getting that power from, so lots of development there. I want to back up to one of the things that you mentioned that I think is really interesting and is being highlighted in this delivery work truck segment, perhaps more than other commercial and larger vehicle segments, battery pack configuration. Many manufacturers and through your product are offering a range of battery configurations, battery pack sizes, number of battery packs to meet those applications. How do you see that in having conversations with manufacturers and then the end customers about getting over the range anxiety question, right? Building a battery pack that's going to fit the duty cycle and meet the range demands. How is this playing out in the work truck space? And do you see an over tendency to spec battery systems?
It's really important, and all the variables that you referred to. It's really important that they're taken into consideration from the beginning of the development of a power system, of a right size power system for a particular duty cycle. The battery solution is not just around being able to drive the rear axle and achieve a particular duty cycle. It's around what's required from a charging perspective. Need to take into consideration the weight associated, the cost on a kilowatt hour, and very importantly, the number of packs that can fit that may impact on overall cost in other areas. So what I mean by that is we had a design criteria early on that we had minimized pack numbers. And for us, it's typically 2 packs is the maximum number of packs that we design for a particular duty cycle or particular application. We wanted a lot of standardization of batteries because it costs a lot to change a battery design and a battery shape. So we wanted to create a standardized battery solution for effectively each of the classes in this space that could be adaptable to effectively any front engine platform. Reason why we only wanted 2 batteries was because that minimizes the high cost and heavy weight associated with high voltage cabling. The more batteries you have, the more high voltage connectors and even to some degree low voltage connectors you need. The only weak spot on a battery electric vehicle is actually those connectors. So the less connectors you've got, not only are we saving weight and cost on the very high cost wiring harnesses, high voltage harnesses, but we're also minimising the areas upon which water ingress could occur. So we're improving reliability, we're reducing costs, we're reducing weight, and essentially optimising and improving efficiency. The other thing that we looked at was what technology. How could we dumb down and simplify the solution for this space, knowing that the key criteria for us was weight, cost, and performance. And so we established that in general topographies, general climates for delivery vehicles in urban application, that we could achieve a high performance and good duty cycle in a range of temperatures without the need for active thermal management of the battery. So we've eliminated the need for thermally cooling the battery or liquid cooling the battery, okay. But we've been able to manage battery temperatures through electronic means, and that's really our proprietary technology is in the software of how not only we manage the battery and the battery management system, but how we then optimize all the ancillaries that are consuming energy from that particular battery pack. So the point I'm making there is there's a whole heap of variables that go into prescribing and designing an initial battery solution for a particular segment of the automotive space.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean that is a unique product angle there, because I know we are talking a lot about thermal management and active management of battery systems. You being able to do it on the software side is really interesting. I like what you said about trying to minimize the pack numbers. Are you seeing battery technology, right? We hear about the promise of battery technology evolution. Do you see that impacting the strategy at all, or helping you to reduce the cooling needs, or being able to do that through software? Is that a reality that you're seeing?
Yeah, I think so. We see lithium ion, and we use generally an NMC technology at the moment, but LFP is an option in the future. The costs of LFP have dropped significantly. We've just seen Rivian announce that they're transitioning to LFP. But we see fundamental lithium ion battery technology being the key technology for the foreseeable future, especially in this segment. Let's call it 5 to 10 years. But we do have line of sight on solid states. We're watching what's happening with solid state batteries, and we think they're going to play a part at some point in the future. And when the time's right, the way that we've designed and simplified our solution enables us to very simply adapt a new ancillary or a new battery solution or a new motor solution into our existing design without significant software development and significant testing. It's very flexible, readily adaptable, which the fleet purchasing people like, because it enables some future proofing of improvements, continuous improvement over time. Changes are made. We can offer those updated solutions without the need of a full design, which some other systems inherently don't have that ability.
Right, right, and that's because of that software control that you're able to build in, right, and how that power is being used, and your secret sauce there, I'm guessing.
Absolutely, and how we've designed the software to independently control the ancillary. So effectively, got strings of software that if we replace or change a hardware item, it might be a new power steering pump, a variably controlled power steering pump that comes to the market at lower cost or the likes. We can provide that as an upgradable solution to our customers with a very small software patch to be able to improve that solution, as well as included in our new builds.
Yeah, really cool. We've seen some of that on the diesel side with over-the-air updates and being able to update software there. This sounds like just another step and an evolution of a process that fleets are becoming aware of and really leveraging, and now kind of taking it to that next level. It's very cool. Tony,
Absolutely.
Thanks so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. I learned a lot. Great to catch up with you. I'm sure I'll talk to you again very soon.
Terrific. Appreciate your time, Jason.